Florida's Lake Okeechobee, also known as the Big O, where the world's best bass anglers confront some of the world's biggest bass. This is extreme fishing, and there's big money at stake. In this sport, the hunters go flat out full speed, and the prey strikes without warning. 400 anglers, 4 days, all fighting for a piece of $900,000. Physical strength, mental toughness, split-second decisions, big-time pressure. Futures decided in an instant, challenging each other, nature, and themselves. A new champion awaits. A new season begins.
That's what I'm talking about. Who's going down there? Damn. Look at that bad boy. Oh, yeah. Holy cow. There he is, folks. Your champion.
Welcome to the 10th anniversary edition of FLW Outdoors. This is the first tour stop on the Walmart FLW Tour. This event brought to us by Everstart, and we are in Clewiston, Florida on Lake Okeechobee. And Charlie, the top-ranked bass anglers in the world have assembled here on the Big O.
Yes, Keith, 200 pros, 200 co-anglers, the very best of the best. And now we're down to the final 10, the guys that will survive the battles here, the guys that proved they can figure out the Big O this time. These guys are the most talented athletes in the world. Tell you what, these are true professionals, as good as any NASCAR driver, as good as the top NBA players. These guys are trained, true professionals, and they're showing their skills here on the Big O.
Without a doubt. And it's funny because, you know, these men and women used to have to ask for time off to go fishing from their bosses, and now with the payouts that are on the FLW Tour, they can be their own bosses.
$900,000 purse here, their first stop, paying down through 75 places. 50th place on the pro side, worth $10,000. In first place here, they're fishing for today, $100,000.
Without a doubt, life-changing numbers for these 200 pros.
Last year changed for Dean Rojas. In 2001, won only $2,500. In 2002, over $153,000. A big change in 1 year.
And here's a guy whose life is changing as we speak, Charlie, rookie Bobby Lane.
Qualified through the Everstart Series in his very first FLW Tour event, a top 10.
How does a rookie make it to the top? Lots of hard work. We started here with 200 pros and 200 co-anglers. The anglers in each category were ranked on their total weight. The top 10 in each category advanced after 2 days of competition. The winner on the co-angler side will be decided on today's catch, but the pros will have today and tomorrow to claim the top prize of $100,000. And Charlie, as we know, it's a major accomplishment just to make a top 10 on the FLW Tour. All the weights from day 1 and 2 washed out. These guys all start at 0.
For 6 for 10 anglers, this is their first shot at the top 10, and they got to maximize every moment out there. So they're racing out to their host, these brand new Ranger Comanche Z21s, the very best on the market.
And here's proof that there's more to bass fishing than just patience. Imagine if golfers had to drive race cars from hole to hole. That's something like what these athletes do. Fishing is mostly a mental game, as we know, but a full throttle run across the water, well, that's just pure adrenaline.
They're not going fast just for the fun of it. They're trying to get to their spots, maximizing every single second on the water. They've got to keep that bait wet to catch the fish.
Lake Okeechobee is so big you can see it from outer space. 470,000 acres for the anglers to fish, but they'll really be focused on 2 places, Charlie, on this body of water. South Bay, and then on the west side, an area called the Monkey Box. And here we see pedigree pro Steve Kennedy in the Monkey Box with his co-angler Bob Borkland.
He missed that one, but he hadn't missed many over the last couple of days. He's our leader going into day 3.
Steve says his hero, his angling hero, is his father. He's trying to make Papa proud by winning the first event of the 2005 FLW season. Steve Kennedy on top, as you see. Rookie Bobby Lane rounding out the top 10.
All these weights, though, are now wiped back out to 0. They're only good for tiebreakers if 2 anglers end up with identical weight.
Thanks to our Fox Sports Net technology, the way you view fishing will never be the same again. Fox cap cams on the anglers themselves put the rod in your hands for the angler eye view. The Fox crane cam in the sky gives you the big picture for the bird's eye view. And the Fox snorkel cams catch lightning fast strikes underwater for the fish eye view. We're opening up the sport in ways even professional anglers have never seen before.
He's seeing anything underwater this year on Lake Okeechobee is a lot different than in years past. Okeechobee generally a very clear water lake. This year, a lot of dingy, murky, off-colored water. As you can see here from our Fox crane cam, the water's a lot dingier. Makes it really tough out there for fishing.
99% of the water on Lake Okeechobee is muddy. This has forced the anglers to be very selective of their fishing holes. Only 1% of the Big O, as you can see right here, is clear. And here's the reason why.
4 hurricanes blasted Lake Okeechobee during the summer, causing a lot of turmoil out there. It tore away a lot of vegetation, created a lot of murky water. As a result of that, all the fish have moved into very small pockets of water that are relatively clear, the monkey box being one of those.
And in this sport, the anglers have to deal with whatever Mother Nature gives them, and that's what BF Goodrich pro Chad Grigsby and his co-angler Bill Rogers are doing.
Just the hurricanes, you know, muddied it up really bad and ripped a lot of the hydrilla out. A lot of areas that you can't fish. I mean, it's just so muddy. There's a few areas in the lake that are still clean, and that's where you can catch fish.
Chad's exactly right. Fish love clear water on Lake Okeechobee. That's when they're most active. Chad's in there fishing about 3 foot of water in the monkey box around aquatic vegetation. Oh man, he's hooked up his first keeper.
So, well, he didn't bite it very hard.
Chad made our tour championship last year, looking to repeat that this year as well. Meanwhile, pedigree pro Greg Pugh and his co-angler Matt Scheipeter are also working the monkey box.
I had a pretty good first day. Had 19 pounds, 13 ounces first day. Had an 8-8 big fish, which led to tournament and big fish there for a while until a couple other guys come in and beat me out. But, you know, I had 6 or 7 places like this one hole, and the winds got to blowing and fish.
Looked like he's got interrupted there in his tail. His second fish caught on a rattle trap. That's a reaction type lure. A lot of sound and vibration there.
That's a nice keeper there for Greg Pugh. Meanwhile, Yamaha pro Dean Rojas with his co-angler William Bridges, expecting Dean here to get off to a big start.
Come on, guys. Get the net, get the net, get the net. Get the net. Big fish, big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Big fish. Get in there, baby. Yeah! I got it. Yeah! 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 Look at that. What do I do? Just talk about map fishing. Look what you get.
You get an 8+ pound keeper. Let's take a look from the Fox cap cam. Charlie, what is he going through right now?
I got to tell you, it's the most nervous time ever from hook up to in the net. You got to keep that fish on there tight, get him in that net. That could be $100,000 on the end of the line.
Yeah! Yeah! Look at that. That's what you catch on map fishing. Just like that. What did I just tell you? Whew. Yeah! Yes!
That's what it's all about, man. He is excited.
He is pumped. What a great start for Dean Rojas. Folks, there's plenty more action to come at the 2005 Walmart FLW Tour Stop on Lake Okeechobee. Stay with us. Walmart FLW Outdoor Tour Stop on Lake Okeechobee is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always. By EverStart. More power for your money. By 7-Up. The only way to go is up. By Pedigree. Dogs rule. By Fujifilm. Fujifilm. Get the picture. And by Field & Stream, the soul of the American outdoors. The days begin before dawn and end long after dark here on Lake Okeechobee. From 400 on day 1, we're down to 10 professionals fishing with 10 co-anglers. The pros fish in the front of the boat, the co-anglers from the back. And one of these co-anglers will walk away with our top prize of $20,000. Here's a list of the 10 co-anglers who survived days 1 and 2.
And what a great opportunity for every co-angler to fish with and learn from the world's greatest professional anglers out there. And the top 10 at the end of the year have the opportunity to move to the pro side in the following year.
Bobby Lane, Dwight Amling out there right now. Bobby the pro on the U.S. Bank boat.
He's doing the flipping technique too. His partners have done good all week long. His day 2 partner had 2 fish that weighed over 17 pounds.
He's got another one on here for Bobby Lane.
Hey, you got it. Yeah, I got you today, didn't I, dude? We got him in the net, didn't we?
Meanwhile, Dean Rojas also having a good morning in the monkey box. We saw him land a big one a little bit earlier with the helping hand from his co-angler, William Bridges.
Dean's a picture of concentration out there, flipping into thick vegetation. He's using a Reaction Innovations black and blue smallie beaver out there, a tiny, compact lure that slips easily through the vegetation to get down to where the big ones live.
And a lure like that, in the hands of an angler with the experience like Dean Rojas, it has to be effective.
It is effective. He's using a 1 ounce weight on braided line, and he's getting down there to them. Here he lands a good solid 2-pounder.
Once again, Dean Rojas on the fish in the monkey box. We are seeing bites in the monkey box, but there are also bites happening in South Bay. That's where we go and find Terry Bolton and his co-angler, Jason Knapp.
The watercolor in South Bay a lot dingier than in the monkey box.
Of course, if the sun would come out, that would... There's one. Oh, gosh. Get him. Oh. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Well, he hit it going Mach 2.
Terry's slow rolling a white spinnerbait down there, a perfect imitation of a wild shiner that's native to Lake Okeechobee.
This fish goes into the live well. All fish need to be weighed in live or it's an 8-ounce penalty. One man with a lot on the line in this competition is Kelly Jordan. He's been an FLW Tour Pro since 1998, but never has he made it into the top 10 on the Big O.
His best ever finish on Lake Okeechobee, 13th in 2003.
There's still some in there, I know of. Man, they didn't want to bite this morning.
He's got one. First fish of the day.
Kelly Jordan fishing in the monkey box with his co-angler, Nick Hamra. Luck seems to be holding out. Jordan has been fishing there all week long. Meanwhile, Land O'Lakes pro Keith Williams and his co-angler, Dino Caparuccio, are in South Bay.
Keith Williams, son of Jerry Williams, who's also on the FLW Tour. Both of them fish for Team Land O'Lakes.
And Keith Williams is on one here, and you can see from the unique angle that we have here at Fox, the Fox Cap Cam, and Williams has landed one.
Boy, he hit it like a 4-pounder.
Yeah, almost a 2-pounder.
Meanwhile, back to Greg Pugh. He's got more action on the line around the monkey box.
Fast. Oh, run away now.
That's what we want.
The noise you're hearing there coming from his lure, a rattle trap. A lot of vibration, a lot of noise attracts fish out there in the lake, allows him to cover a lot of territory.
Thank you, sir. That's a little bit better fish.
These fish haven't been caught either, so these are all new fish that's moving in.
He's fishing near Toshinari Namiki in the Fujifilm boat, who's fishing with Jimmy Shelton. Toshinari, this is his first top 10 on the FLW Tour.
Toshinari flipping in vegetation too with a heavy weight. He's hooked up here.
All right. Okay.
Yeah! Flipping a Gambler black and blue BB Cricket. He's hooked up and got a good one.
And this puts him right in the thick of the competition here. Again, $100,000 on the line for first place at this tour stop. Things a bit quieter, though, over the Snickers boat where Jerry Green is fishing with co-angler Russ Osborne. Jerry, another first-timer in the top 10 here.
He was on a waterfish on days 1 and 2, but the water there muddied up. He's now searching in a different area.
You want to talk about an up-and-down career? How about our leader after the first 2 days? Pedigree pro Steve Kennedy.
His biggest up, a win on Kentucky Lake in 2003, got him over $100,000 there. He struggled last year.
Of course, like everyone else, Steve Kennedy began the day with a clean slate. But here we go.
He's hooked up here. Again, Steve flipping out there. Long rod, heavy weight, braided line. Got a good solid 4-pounder here.
And that 4-pounder could go a long way towards Steve Kennedy landing that first place check of $100,000. Couple of unique perspectives here from our crane cam above the water and below the water. And talk about a unique perspective. We've got a lot more coming up, including a look at the lady anglers of our tour. It's all coming up next on Walmart FLW Outdoors. Welcome back to Walmart FLW Outdoors. This is tour stop number 1. We are on Lake Okeechobee. Time now for the Snickers Big Bass Award.
Our award winner, Castro Pro Bobby Curtis, with his beautiful 11-pounder. He wins $1,000 from Snickers for the largest bass weighed in over the first 2 days.
You know, men aren't the only ones winning awards these days. In fact, female anglers like Karen Savick are putting a new face on the competition, trying to prove they can hold their own against the men.
I didn't realize how much pressure there was in this circuit. After the first tournament, I realized that it isn't who I'm fishing against, because if I figure those fish out, I'm gonna win.
I would never have dreamed just 2 years ago that I would be fishing the pro division of the FLW, the most lucrative fishing tour in the industry. You know, it's phenomenal.
When it comes to golf and tennis and racing cars and stuff like that, to me, that's a different story. But with fishing, like I said, they don't know if you're male or female.
Most of the guys that I fish with are very nice and they're very supportive. They're fishing out of the front of the boat and I'm fishing out of the back of the boat, and they want you to do good.
Originally, I was a little nervous. Not only am I a woman, but I'm from the Northeast, from the Bronx, New York. It was a little language barrier, number one. Number two, being a woman. But I was treated regally by every fisherman.
I've learnt so much from hanging out with these guys. You know, my experience level has just gone up tremendously. The guys have been really wonderful. It's almost like having 200 big brothers.
Women have more of a bit of an advantage just because they have more patience.
You have no boundaries. There's no sex, gender, or anything. That's the great thing about this. Male, female, doesn't matter.
I wish I'd started this a lot younger, but I didn't, so I'm not getting any younger. I hope we can get all kinds of camera work while I'm still young.
I believe we'll see a female FLW champion. I really do.
I can't speak for all the women of the world, and I'm not fishing for all the women of the world. I would love to say something honorable like that, but the truth is I'm fishing for me.
The ladies have plenty of chances ahead. There are 7 events, millions of dollars in prize money on the line. It all culminates in July at the Forrest Elwood Championship in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The weather in Arkansas in July, warm, contrary to the cold fronts we're experiencing here at Okeechobee. And Charlie, weather conditions out here, as you know, can have a major impact on how these fish will react. We have had fog, we have had cold, we have had wind, and today it's calm. How will the fish react out there?
It certainly does change things, Keith. When it calms down, before the wind was blowing out of the north, it shoved all the water into South Bay, made the fishing there really great. Now that it's calmed down, the water moves back out, actually like a tide effect, and it pulls out a lot of sediment, changes the water color. Now most of the big catches are coming from the monkey box area where it's clear.
You can't be stubborn out here on this tour. Looks like our rookie Bobby Lane is reacting to the changing conditions by moving his location.
At this level, it's all about making the right decisions at the right time. He's trying to find a place where the fish are more active in the clearer water. He's got one hooked up.
And look at his co-angler. That's right, Amling is co-angler as well. A double hookup on the U.S. Bank boat.
Cooler.
I think they turned on for a second.
How about Banana Boat Pro Terry Bolton, Mr. Champion?
He's really consistent. He's made the FLW Tour Championship 5 times. He's got a great start this year.
Let's take a look at Terry in action via the Fox Cap Cam, and Terry's got one on.
Oh, God.
When you see a pole bending like that, you know he's got a haul.
Oh, God. Oh, God, please let me get this bass. Please, God. Please, God, get that bass. Yes, get him cut.
All right.
His prayers were answered. Terry switched to gold blades on that spinnerbait, that white spinnerbait. A great imitation for golden shiners, native to Lake Okeechobee. The fish love them, and obviously this monster loved that.
I love seeing Jason Knapp trying to pull that fish in for him. His co-angler netted it.
That right there is the biggest bass I've ever caught, I believe. Good deal, man. That's worth the price of admission right there.
You want action? We've got it for you. Come on back with us on Walmart FLW Outdoors. Here on Lake Okeechobee, all of our anglers are masters at a technique known as flipping. We asked Kellogg's pro Clark Wendland to demonstrate its Fishing 101, presented by Frito-Lay.
In practice this week when we got here, the weather conditions were really warm. Bass were out roaming around in open water, but as the conditions got colder and the cold front came in, the fish buried up in these big, thick mats. So what you got to do is you got to get a heavy weight, heavy line, a heavy rod, and we'll flip it up in the real heavy cover and jig it basically up and down 4 or 5 times. All you're doing is flipping into a hole. You can basically make your own hole a lot of the time. Jig the bait up and down 5, 6 times, and then move it. And a lot of times, that's where those big fish seem to go. If you try that, get in the heavy cover during the cold front, you'll catch a lot of big fish.
Thank you, Clark Wendland, a 2-time FLW Angler of the Year. Action picking up on the lake. Steve Kennedy showing why he's topped the leaderboard after the first 2 days.
Steve's still flipping out there on the Big O again, moving that bait once he gets it in the water very slowly. A slow presentation is what makes the difference here on Lake Okeechobee.
Every time we go back to Steve, he seems to be on a fish again. From the Fox Cap Cam, Kennedy on it.
And he's got a monster on this time. Again, getting him into the boat would be the trick.
Now we're talking. Give me a high five on that one.
Boy, Steve Kennedy putting on a show. Talk about the experience factor here. He's been here, he's done this before. He's been in a top 10 position.
He's got enough experience to know when he needs to stay put. He's got an area here of vegetation that's full of huge fish. He's staying with it.
He's been staying with it day 1 and day 2. He was on it in the same spot. Look at the size of these fish. He brought in a 25-pound, 15-ounce stringer on day 2. Kelly Jordan in the monkey box is on another one. Not that big, though.
About a 2-pounder. It'll help some.
I'll call a little bit.
Let's check out Bobby Lane.
I always try to, no matter what I do, I try to put it in as smooth as I can, but then, whatever works, you know. That one went in a little hard.
That one caught him in an awkward position there, but he did muscle it in. Fish number 4, he needs 1 more now for a limit.
That's a little better.
Nothing but normal for these two guys. They had that double hookup, if you remember earlier, on the U.S. Bank boat.
All right, sports fans, come on. Let's get a big one.
Things slow for Dean Rojas right now, but he did get his day started off with a bang.
Big fish, get in there, baby.
Yeah!
I got it.
Yeah! Yeah!
Gotta love it. And Steve Kennedy's still reeling him in, and this time he's got help.
His technique's a little unorthodox here. He's got one hung up in the thick vegetation in there trying to dig him out. Did he lose him?
Oh, no.
No, they got it.
A 6-pound catch. Now, this is his 11th fish. You can only keep 5 in your live well at the same time. You throw back the lighter ones, you keep the heavier ones. That's how it works. Come on back with us on Walmart FLW Outdoors. Welcome back to Lake Okeechobee. This event hosted by the marina of one of bass fishing's living legends, Roland Martin. His son, Scott Martin, keeping up with the family tradition, has earned more than $500,000 on the FLW Tour.
I've lived in Clewiston since I was 4 years old. We're right here on the shores of Lake Okeechobee. That's Lake Okeechobee right there, man. That's my pond. Man, there's tons of fish right here. The marina used to be right here. And little gas pumps, we sold bait and minnows. Yeah, this levee here protects this town. Here's where I grew up, right here, in this house. Let me show you the best thing here. Who's ready for a burger? That's the Okeechobee burger right there. Best in the state. This is a guy that's been cutting my hair for like 10 years. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. I'm the man. I'm the guy.
My toes are all right, actually. This is Old Clewiston High School here. There's been some major football players come out of this school. There's 2 things in this town that make it go around. The big sugarcane industry here. Cane field for sugarcane, baby. And that warehouse right there is 3/4 of a mile long. The whole town's sugarcane and bass fishing. This is the kind of stuff that Okeechobee is known for.
We came all the way down here to meet your dad.
Anywhere you want. Thank you, Scott.
I owe all this to Scott. He's famous.
I would love to live here forever. Schools are all within a half mile of our house. A lot of celebrities come down. We've had Larry Bird. That's Jody Watley. Jeff Cook from Alabama. President Bush.
There's only 10,000 population, so we know everybody.
Hey, man. Hey, what's up, Louie?
My man.
This is Raymond. What's up, dude? Big Clayton in the house. We need to run to the store, we just run right around the corner. Here in Clewiston, Florida, we have drive-through convenience stores. All right, I need a Diet Coke. I'll pay you later. Very convenient. This is the mayor.
How are you? Molly Shamness.
Somebody keeps calling me the new mayor.
Really?
I don't know why.
Well, I think you represent us well. The new mayor.
Let's start calling Charlie Evans the mayor. All right, day 3 weigh-in. It's a good one for rookie Bobby Lane. He puts 5 fish weighing 9 pounds, 10 ounces on the scale.
Terry Bolton weighs in a 5 bass limit, including the largest fish of his lifetime. Total weight here, 14 pounds, 10 ounces.
What an exciting moment for Bolton. Dean Rojas, big fish plus 4 others. That helps him rack up an impressive 16-pound, 13-ounce total for the day.
But it's our day 2 leader who also leads now after day 3, Steve Kennedy with 17 pounds, 4 ounces.
And let's take a look at our leaderboard. And as you mentioned, Steve Kennedy on top, Dean Rojas in second. The list goes on down. It just takes one cast to turn things around for one of these guys on day 4 to win $100,000. And on the co-angler side, Dwight Ambling, his big catch helped him land the big bucks. And too bad he wasn't that excited, Charlie.
Dwight had a great day, a great time. $20,000 richer. He's having fun.
Here's how the rest of the co-angler field finished up. Dwight Amling's weight more than the combined weight of the other 9 co-anglers. Unbelievable. Here's where the weigh-in happened. The Walmart's here in Clewiston, Florida, but a semifinal weigh-in was just part of the excitement. The family fun zone here was a huge hit with all the kids and a chance for everybody to meet their favorite pro anglers.
Huge crowds here at the Super Center in Clewiston, Florida. Everybody wants to meet the pros and get to know them better.
These family fun zones are open to the public, and best of all, they're free. Day 3 is in the books on Lake Okeechobee. 1 day left for a shot at our first prize of $100,000. When we come back, one angler struggled back from a nearly fatal accident, and the final day of competition here on Lake Okeechobee. Come back with us on Walmart FLW Outdoors. Welcome back to Walmart FLW Outdoors. The most dramatic story of this event has to be the return of Snickers pro John Sappington. He came in 60th on the Big O last year. In 2002, he won the FLW Tour Championship. But 11 months ago, his life took a tragic turn.
I was going down the Intercoastal Waterway. All of a sudden, I see a spray of water. I remember my last thought, and and that was that there's a cable, that was my last thought.
911 is emergency police, fire, medical. We just had an accident at the ferry, and a guy that was passing in a boat, and he got hung up by the cable. All righty, sir, we're gonna get somebody on the way.
And when the cable hit, it hit the front of his boat first, and then his helmet. If one thing would not have happened the way it did, John would not be here.
I didn't think I was dead, no. I didn't think I was dead. When I woke up, I wasn't fishing, and so I knew I wasn't in heaven. He'd blown out his C1, which when that happens, there's only 3% of the people that happens to that are able to walk.
They put the halo into his head and then down for his broken neck. Then I looked at him. You look at him and you cry.
I was devastated. I knew that there was a good chance that he could be paralyzed.
John went home to Willard, Missouri. Recovery seemed like a long shot. Walking, a miracle. But he was in good hands. He'd gotten married just 2 months earlier, and his new bride was a physical therapist.
My wife, she kind of told me about things to do, that were safe to do while I was in the halo, and that was a real blessing.
Now, after 11 months of rehab, John has come full circle and is back at Lake Okeechobee, the site of his last competition.
I was told it would never happen, but I never did let that enter into my mind, because I do it for the money, but I love it too. That's my motivation right there. I wanted to say, tournament angler. I don't want to be a VIP guest. I'm more into safety now than boat racing.
We're all glad to see him back out on the trail this year. John Sappington's a tremendous guy, and, you know, he's a character. So it's good to have him back on the trail, and you know he'll catch them. He always does.
Oh, it feels good to be fishing. It'd feel a lot better to be catching, but...
He went through a lot to get to where he is. You know, I admire him for his strength and strong will, and for pursuing his passion for his fishing.
This is my life, you know, and I've missed it. A big chunk of me has been gone, you know, over the last 11 months, and it feels good to be back.
It feels good to see him back. It's an amazing feat for John Sappington to be competing at all this year. He is off to a rough start, though. He failed to make the cut at the Big O, but no one's counting him out. He has a way of coming back from long odds. Coming up, Day 4, D-Day on Lake Okeechobee, and it's not what anyone expected. Stay tuned for more on Walmart FLW Outdoors. Welcome back. It's the morning of Day 4, the last day of competition here on Lake Okeechobee in Clewiston, Florida. And the Florida wetlands have thrown a curveball to the anglers, a fog delay. Look at our leaderboard after Day 3. Steve Kennedy on top. It's combined Day 3 and Day 4 weight that determines our $100,000 champion.
I want to ask the anglers to be patient. We are in a fog delay. We will not start until it is safe.
That's the voice of Tournament Director Bill Taylor. He'll hold it right there until the visibility is good enough that these high-speed boats don't have any danger of collision. Safety is the #1 concern.
You think these guys are nervous? I mean, a lot of first-timers in top 10, final day of competition, so much money involved.
There's a lot of nerves out there. They're very anxious, but Namiki here, he's kind of taking it back and relaxing. Doesn't affect him at all.
Finally, at 8:30, the anglers get the go-ahead to take off, but they've lost an hour and a half of fishing time.
That puts increased pressure on all the anglers, especially Chad Grigsby, who's in 9th place.
5 great big ones. I got to swing for the fences today.
He does have to swing for the fences today, and more than ever, time is money. These guys will go full throttle out to their spot, and one of the guys close behind Steve Kennedy is Dean Rojas. He's been in this position before. Can he come through and win his first FLW Tour event?
This could be Dean's day. Trails by less than half a pound. His highest finish ever, 2nd place. He's going for his first major win.
He's also going to his spot in the monkey box, right where he has landed big fish on days 1, 2, and 3. It's a 15-minute run from the launch site to the monkey box. And when Dean Rojas arrives to the monkey box, he finds that Toshinari Namiki is fishing where he wanted to start his day.
On days 1 and 2, over 100 boats were fishing in the monkey box. Now we're down to only 10, and here with 10 boats, we still got 2 guys trying to fish the exact same area. But Dean's got to get it out of his mind. He can't let it get into his head. It could cost him a victory.
And this is going to get into his head. Oh, whoa! Toshinari Namiki does land the fish.
He lands the fish, almost fell out of the boat.
I'm okay. I got the one today. Okay, I had to fish.
It goes in the live well, another thorn in the side for Dean Rojas.
Can't even get on my spot.
Dean's got to stay focused here. He's got to get back to the basics, the things that got him to here. Flipping in that heavy mat, slow, cautious presentation, always on guard.
He's one of the best in the world, and really, from our cap cam view, you can see Rojas in his presentation.
It's okay, we'll catch him over here.
Well, that's a good sign. He thinks he can catch him over there now, Charlie.
Dean's back at work doing what he does best, flipping that small bait into the smallest hole right where the big ones live.
$100,000 at stake. Plenty more to come on Walmart FLW Outdoors. Final day is underway here on Lake Okeechobee. Last year, a rookie named Ray Scheid fished his first ever FLW event right here on the Big O and won. Here's today's Castro Flashback.
We have a champion. Oh, God. Fish number 5.
That's a big old fish. I love Florida. Okeechobee, that was a big boost, you know. And of course, financially, you know, and to help, you know, make a name for myself at this level. You know, that was my goal last year, was to be consistent, make the championship. Helps your credibility as an angler, but then coming right out and winning your first one, it launches your career. It's a good start. It's a little intimidating when you're first time here. You know, it's 500,000 acres or better. Can't get him in if you can't get him on. The hurricane really tore up a lot of the vegetation and pulled the roots out, and there's a lot of extra sediment in the water. So when the wind blows, the lake actually dirties up quicker and takes longer to settle out too. Boy, he bit it hard. If I don't catch him now, I'll be back after a while, after he settles down, get him again. Yeah. I definitely would like to surprise some people and make that cut again. If I can get to Hot Springs, they better look out. That's close to home.
Hot Springs, Arkansas, the site of the FLW Tour Championship later this year. Ray did not make the top 10 at the Big O, but this rookie did, Bobby Lane.
He's trying to make it into the winner's circle here today. In order to do that, he's got some catching up to do. He's got to get on track.
You know, strategy is so important in this sport, and Kelly Jordan knows better than most that conditions dictate the bite.
Fish never bite the same, even year to year. You know, you just use the best knowledge you have of fish and how they relate to, you know, the conditions, the water clarity, the weather, the water temperature. You know, there's millions of variables. That's what makes it such a neat sport. Because if you can figure them out, it's really, really special.
Just a few hundred feet away, Toshinari Namiki seems to be figuring things out. It's amazing how close together these boats are. They're almost on top of each other.
Namiki, Jordan, Rojas, all right there in the monkey box. Huge fish in that area. They got to figure them out. Whoever makes the right cast at the right time could bust this thing wide open.
Namiki with another catch.
Okay, yes. All right, 2-pounder.
And another pro in the monkey box had to see him catch that fish.
Kelly Jordan's right there in the area.
There you go.
Yeah, Kelly Jordan saw it. You got to wonder whether or not Dean Rojas saw it. Yeah, he's looking over there. He saw Namiki catch that fish. The only thing Dean's catching right now are the floating weeds.
Dean's got to get back on track. Again, working that grass nice and slow. Good presentations. One cast, and he could be right back in the middle of it.
Now let's go over to Greg Pugh, the pedigree pro. He's not flipping the mats like many of the others are.
He's sticking with that rattle trap out in the open water. This bait's got a lot of flash, a lot of vibration, and a lot of noise. It really attracts the bass here on Lake Okeechobee.
Greg Pugh in 4th place after day 3. This fish will help keep him in the hunt. He's one of 2 pedigree pros in the top 10. The other, our leader, Steve Kennedy. The fish are biting, and we're catching all the action. The FLW Tour on Fox Sports Net continues from Lake Okeechobee when we come back. This presentation of Walmart FLW Outdoors on Lake Okeechobee is brought to you by Lowry's, your secret to great flavor. By U.S. Bank, home of 5-star service guarantee. By Minn Kota, anywhere, anytime. By Tyson Foods, powered by Tyson. By Frito-Lay, get your smile on. And by Walmart, always low prices, always. You know, this is a sport that truly allows anyone to get a chance at the big money. You want proof? Down below, Bobby Lane. It's his first FLW Tour event, and he's already in the top 10.
I wasn't real sure about this tournament here. Being the rookie on tour, I was a little shaken up on the boat ride out there. I was boat 186 taking off, so I figured these guys all had my spots taken. They were catching all the fish, and I wasn't going to do good at all. At 9 o'clock, I didn't have a fish in the well, and I ended up putting the biggest bass of the first day of the tournament in the live well. She weighed 815.
8 pounds, 15 ounces.
And at 2 o'clock, I caught the second biggest bass of the first day.
This here weighs in this small fish, 8'9" for the second.
And I was leading the tournament after the first day. I was a nobody out there fishing, and all of a sudden, I'm a somebody out there.
He's a somebody that just might take home $100,000.
Bobby Lane started in the BFL, worked his way up through the EverStart Series, made the top 10 of the EverStart Series last year, qualified for the pro division of the FLW Tour, and he's got a great start this year. He's got one hooked up here, another good solid keeper, his second of the day.
I like his form. You see a lot of guys out there that might not be technically sound. Bobby Lane is one of those that is technically sound.
His fundamentals are nearly perfect.
They're starting to do my worm bite.
Here's Steve Kennedy, the man to beat, flipping into a thick mat in the monkey box, trying to drop his lure right into a fish's backyard by breaking through the vegetation.
The key here, the high toss, heavy weight, dropping it down through, getting it through that thick vegetation and dropping the bait right down to where the fish lives. Moving it slow, nice and easy, right in front of that big bass until it just can't stand it. Right there in the right spot, he'll get it.
If only it were that easy. For Steve Kennedy, though, it has been that easy all week.
Steve's on fire again, dropping it through there, jerking them out. Another keeper in the boat.
I was surprised to get one there.
Steve Kennedy has been our most consistent angler all week long. That's the reason he is on top. The other anglers out there must be taking note. Steve is around the monkey box. Guys like Toshinari Namiki still flipping in tight quarters. He has got to catch up.
And catch up he could. Right here in this area, it's yielded a lot of monster fish this week.
With inside our second place angler, Dean Rojas.
Thank you, Dean.
I'm going to catch a 7-pounder right in front of him.
Dean Rojas is too good to be thinking about Toshinari Namiki. $100,000 at stake. He has got to stay focused on the fish.
Just don't want to miss the bite when it comes.
Meanwhile, back in the South Bay, Terry Bolton, one of the pros who's avoided the monkey box. He's having a tough day. Our Fox Cap Cam shows us not a big bite.
Still slow rolling that spinner bait here, but it's not working nearly as good for him today as it did yesterday.
Yeah, day 3, Terry Bolton flashing back through the Fox Cap Cam. What he described as the biggest fish he's ever caught.
You the man.
Unfortunately for Bolton, day 4, not playing out the same way.
For this fish here, he's got to get his bump board out to see if it measures the 12-inch minimum size limit to be a keeper.
Nope, not a keeper.
He'll release that one back into the lake and let it grow up. He'll catch it again next year, maybe.
Back to the monkey box, Kelly Jordan. All 4 days he has stayed in the monkey box. In 6th place after day 3, Kelly Jordan needs a hookup, and there he's got one.
7.5-foot rod, 65-pound test, spiderwire braided line, cuts right through that grass. An ounce and 3/8 weight to get down through the grass is a combination that's working for him. He's got a good one here.
Love, he's laying down on his Ranger boat, and look at what Kelly Jordan has found. 7.5-pound bass, and that will get him into the hunt.
Here's a look with the Fox Cap Cam. He throws it right in the deepest, thickest vegetation he can find and rips out that bass. I gotta tell you, that's great technique.
Wow. Whew. Got my thumb out of the, she's hooked in the bottom lip and had the lipper, but hey, we'll take it.
That one fish could change everything for Yamaha Pro Kelly Jordan.
That's a pretty nice one, huh? 4 more of those, and who knows? That's a start, at least.
A great start. That catch puts Kelly Jordan in 3rd place. He's got a real shot at our top prize. An incredible tournament so far, and not over by a long shot. Coming up next time, more action on the Big O. Find out who takes home the $100,000 first prize. Join us for the conclusion of the Walmart FLW Tour Stop on Lake Okeechobee. For Charlie Evans, I'm Keith Leibowitz. Thanks for watching.